who will be taking a session on Vichar Sagar Manthan of Avyakt Murli, dated 18th January 1978, titled Giving the Return of Babdada's Service. So, Shwetang Bhaiji, over to you. Om Shanti.
Oh, Shanti, good morning to you, all of you who have joined from India. This service of reading Avyak Murlis that you all have started on a daily basis, and then every now and then, I think every Sunday, I guess, that you have these Manthan sessions where you go deeper into many aspects that Baba covers in the Avyak Murlis. All of this is amazing service, and I want to congratulate all of you for this effort. See, Baba does so much of service for us. Baba very recently was talking about how he is the servant for all of us. Many of you may have heard about something very recent, something that has gained a lot of traction in the recent years, is called as servant leadership. It has become very popular in the West. It is a leader that is geared towards service, towards serving others. And who is the best servant leader? That is Baba. Baba has exemplified serving mankind in the most humble, most egoless way. He doesn't ask anything for himself. He doesn't want anything for himself. He doesn't keep anything for himself. Truly altruistic, he keeps serving, serving, and serving. Baba often tells us that he comes onto this world, this old body of Brahma Baba, just to serve us, just to take care of us, just so that we can be transformed and made capable of going to golden age while simultaneously creating the golden age for us. He can very well stay up there and rest. Of course, it is not in the drama for him to stay up there and rest. He has to come down. It is part of the whole drama of human existence of this world, that God has to enter into the cycle to create this reverse entropy for us to then become the best versions of ourselves. But Baba has to come. Baba makes this sacrifice for us. And so, what should we do in return? What do we need to do in return? So it's like ek haath de, ek haath le. So Baba does service for us. So we at least have to do service to some extent, a little bit service for Baba. What does Baba want from us? That's all he wants us to do so that we can actually be the best, you know, versions of ourselves, like I said just a moment back. So in that particular Murli, in fact, he says this all the time, but in that particular Murli, Baba is talking about specifically that we have to become lights and mites, that is lighthouses and might houses. Mics that are common now, maybe not so common at that time, but there were many souls, and there are many souls in the yagyas today who can do a lot of um, you know classes and what Baba says is bhashan, that is discourses, and so on and so forth. But apart from that, Baba wants us to be true embodiments of power. That is, through our light and might, we can give others the experience of soul consciousness and a connection with God. And here, Baba is talking about light. You see, lights. Yes, yes, Baba आया है मेरे लिए. So, right, right. So, Baba is saying that even in this physical world, as soon as lights are turned on, then there is a very big difference in the ambience of the place. The brighter the light, more um, bright we feel inside too. We feel better. And Baba was talking about, that if you have green light somewhere, then the whole ambience becomes sort of that color, green kind of effect gets created. And especially like for us, Baba's children, when we turn on the red light, then the desire to sit in Baba's remembrance comes alive. So what we have to do is to keep our spiritual lights, it's not just the physical light, but the spiritual light on in a way that can change the energy of the whole world, that we become true lighthouses and might houses for the world. So let's take a few minutes to hold this thought that we have truly become lighthouses and might houses for the world. That our lights have become very powerful, filled with all the might of the universe, all the might of God Himself. And our light and might is reaching all corners of the world. Every nook and corner, every space, every household, every soul is receiving our light and might. The Baba always tells us to serve with our tan, that is body, man, that is with the mind, dhan, that is our wealth, and jan, that is through our relationships. We can do wonders actually if we use all these four ways of doing service. If you look at from the body point of view, many times when I hear this from Baba's children that we do Bansa Seva, and of course, Bansa Seva is the highest form of Seva. But one of the things that I've realized in so many years because of close connection with many seniors of the Yajna, that Mansa Seva will only be effective if we had have put in enough of physical service. So Mansa Seva is, if in a way, there was one very senior teacher who had once said something very interesting and said, actually, when we keep saying, I'm doing Mansa Seva, I'm doing Mansa Seva, it is almost like it's a lazy term to use. In fact, Mansa Seva is not something that you need to do. Mansa Seva should be happening 24/7 anyways. Whatever we are doing while we are sitting, walking, talking, eating, cooking food, Mansa Seva has to happen in the background anyways. But we can't sit and do nothing and say that we are in Mansa Seva. In a way, karma yoga is the true version of a Brahmin soul that we all are, that what Baba wants us to be, that as we are doing what we need to do, as we are fulfilling all our responsibilities, some have households to take care of, some have Baba's homes, to take care of, centers and so on and so forth. But whatever we're doing, there is no karm sannyas, there is no, renunciation of action. But while we are doing the actions, there has to be constant mansa seva. So the important thing to understand is that tireless service will then lead to an effective mansa seva, is something that I have realized over time. Otherwise, mansa seva becomes just, a bunch of good wishes, like when we say good morning or happy new year, happy Diwali. So we're wishing good for others. Sometimes we just say this and we don't even take the time to wish truly something good in the other person's lives. But one is, wishing good for the other person, but the other is to really be effective in in helping that person rise to a better state of consciousness, to a better life for himself or herself. So, what I need to do is to make myself extremely powerful for that effectiveness to be there. And that power only comes when I have put in all my physical, energy into Baba's service. Yes. So many times when we do service, we do service based on our convenience. Yes. Red. Yeah, somebody has said red, responsibly, reliable, realize, experience, expertise, embodiment, dedication, dearest divine. The address Purushat result in the spreading of divine fragrance in mantra seva. Yes, yes, very nice. As a karma yogi, karmana seva is equally important. So many times, yeah, service is an important topic in itself. I'm sure each one of you is soaked in Baba's service, doing Baba's service tirelessly. But oftentimes, what happens is, when we're doing Baba's service, we tend to be very choosy. We like this service more than the other service. We want to do this service preferentially and not this service. And sometimes we do service based on convenience. I'll do service when I'm able to do it, when this and this is taken care of, when I have time, when everything is working perfectly for me, then I do service. But those are not service, that those are really beating about the bush. True service is when Baba wants us, whatever mm, his need is in that moment, we deliver. Baba many times says that we are part of Baba's army, God's army. In the other army of the world, the physical world, there are so many armies. Every country has an army. And that army is supposed to be ever ready. Whenever there is a need, they have to show up. And apart from that, they are disciplined. And apart from that, they are courageous. I always believe that there are three aspects to being Baba's army. You know, just like that army is ever ready, always available. At the drop of the hat, they have to be willing to fight with the enemy. They are disciplined and then they are courageous. And think of it, for a moment, I always see this as a joke that let's say there's a big calamity that has come, and the military has been called in to help, and the military itself says, "Oh, I'm scared. I can't do this. I um, I don't have the courage to help to save people's lives." Then what would you say? The other day I was here in America. I stopped at a gas station, a petrol pump, and I went inside, to use the bathroom, and there were and it also had a coffee shop, and there were many, many military, active military people there because there was a military base somewhere close by. And so they had stopped there for something, maybe, have a cup of coffee or something. And they were all so, smart. They looked so strong. They looked really good, and it was such a joy to see all of them, And at that moment, there was this thought that was coming in my mind that at least at this point in this place, no criminal can come, and if a criminal does come, then I'll be protected by these strong military people. And similarly, one time I was flying from one place to the other in America, and there were these Navy people, and they were all active service people, and they were all in this wonderful white clothes and really impeccable, decorum that they were maintaining, discipline. They were all standing so tall. They were all walking so straight. They were all, conducting themselves with so much of discipline. Such a wonderful experience I had just watching them, what they were doing. And there must be at least 20 or 25 of them, all strong, all tall, all, real military people. And so then there was a thought in my mind that at least this plane cannot be hijacked. If there is a hijacker on this plane, then that person doesn't hold any chance. These 20, 25 Navy people who are such strong people will definitely be able to overpower these hijackers if there are, and I'll be safe. So similarly, we should be able to create that sense of confidence in people around us, that they feel safe in our presence, that as soon as they see us, they feel that Maya can have no chance with them because these souls are here. They will fight Maya and they will chase away Maya for them. So that kind of discipline, that kind of decorum, that kind of courage should be visible in our eyes, because I've realized, they say even in psychology, they say that, emotions are very contagious. So if one person is courageous, then and in a group, and if there's a group and there's one person who is courageous, then everyone in the group begins to also experience courage. And if one person becomes timid and fearful, then that too spreads in the whole group. So if I can be courageous all the time, I can experience courage, I can express courage, I'll create the energy of courage around me so that other people also feel courageous, also feel safe. See, on one hand, they feel safe, but on the other hand, they feel courageous enough to be able to fight with Maya and conquer Maya. So that kind of service, at all times, that whenever there is a need for me to help in whatever way, some people I've seen get so bogged down by what service they are doing, and they will not do anything else. "Oh, this is not mine. That's mine." One time there was, um, you know, in some retreat center somewhere, there was some trash that, had gotten blown, onto the garden from the trash can because there were strong winds. And everybody thought that someone else will take care of that. That there was a retreat going on, and the retreat participants thought that the sevadharis of that place, will take care of it. And the Sevadaris were busy in something else, but no one took the opportunity to fix it. And the senior sister there was later saying that from my window, I saw that trash on the lawn for 2 days, and I didn't see. There were so many souls who had come for the retreat, but nobody went and picked that up and put it back into the trash can. So everything is our responsibility to. We are protectors of the yagya, we are defenders of the yagya, we are sustainers of the yagya. So protecting the yagya doesn't just mean that, we about maryadas and that of course there is, but also, whatever is needed at this moment. If sweeping the floor is important, if mopping the floor is important, if cleaning the bathrooms is important, if cleaning the gutters is important, if taking some ingredients from one place to the other is necessary, if going to the vegetable market is necessary, if giving the course is necessary, if sitting and conducting meditation is necessary, I should be, on one hand, available. One is available, the second is willingness, and the third is capable enough to do it. You see, these are the three things I see. So one is, being available. If I am constantly engaged in the world out there, I will not be available, though, I want to do it, but, I'm too stuck in the world out there, have too many prior commitments. Then when I get a phone call that, oh, my services are needed, I will not be able to disengage myself from that and be able to serve. But then willingness, to serve in whatever capacity, whatever thing is needed. Yeah, Shwetank, I need you to do this. Yes, I'm willing to do it. I'm available, but am I willing? You see, there's a difference between the two. I am there, I'm standing right there, but oh no, I don't do this service. This is below me, or this is above me. Sometimes we don't have the courage. We say, oh, this is too big a service for me. Sometimes we look at the service and say, this is too low a service for me. So either ways, am I willing to do whatever has been put on my plate? Am I ready to take charge of that? But also the capacity. Sometimes we keep complaining that mm, I wish I had gotten this opportunity. I wish I had been able to, do this or do that, and see others are in the limelight. I'm not. But if I am put onto the spot and that service is asked from me, am I capable enough to do it? Have I worked on myself that when I do that service, I am able to do it in the right way, do it in a way that will please others, will give them the feeling that you know, I really knew what I was doing. So the effectiveness also comes, not just from availability and willingness, which are very important factors, nevertheless. But the important thing also is that I have to work on myself so that I can increase my capacity. Let's say there are 5 souls in front of me, and I've been asked to give a session to them, versus if there are 200 people have been asked to give this course or some session to them. So in the first one, I say I can do it, and the second one, I fall apart. That should not happen. And it won't happen overnight. Overnight, I can give a session to 200 people, 500 people, no. But I can make my myself more and more prepared for that. I can work on myself diligently every day so that maybe if I can go from 5 to 10 to 15 to 100, to 200 to 500 people eventually at some point of time. Yeah, there could be incremental improvement, at least if not disruptive innovation in myself. Maybe some of you may have heard these terms, disruptive innovation and incremental improvement. And so at least I can make minor changes in myself every day, improve myself every day, so that one day I can be capable of doing everything that Baba wants me to do. Yes. So let's take a few moments to take these aspects that were shared just now, which are very important. One is like the military. I'm ever ready, ever available. I'm disciplined, and I'm courageous. Ever ready. The military can't say that I'm not ready. And the military can't function if there is no discipline. And the military can't function again if there's no courage. And we can look at these three as the other three words that I was talking about earlier. I'm available. There's willingness on my part to do whatever is needed. So, in a way, discipline. And then courage, that means the capacity to serve. These are the things that I have tried to work upon myself. And so I shared these with all of you. There are many different aspects of service. I'm sure you have a lot of experience with that as well. You're welcome to share as well. Right. Somebody has said, very nice. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm willing, not willing comes when mind and intellect surrendered versus not surrendered. Baba, so true. Yeah. The more I'm surrendered, more this question about willingness and not willing to do, doesn't even come. Right. Good, good. Yeah. So somebody had said that's the test of leadership, servant leadership. Yes. Leaders serve as an example to others. See, so many times we are given responsibilities, we become instruments for service. And so, do we use that position as a position of authority or as a position of service, as an opportunity for service? Or is it, right? Many times, this is an opportunity for me to be your boss. You see, I am the one who is responsible for it. So you have to listen to me. You have to do as I say. Or is there this deep feeling that I've just got to? So, yes. Yeah, oh, very nice. Leaders create opportunities. like always, concept of Shiv Shakti army final scenes come to the mind. Yeah. Yeah, we see that all the time. We watch videos of how when there's a natural calamity, maybe floods, and people are trapped somewhere, and the military has been called in, and how they do all these dangerous things. They will throw ropes, and these military men will go down into maybe the gorge or into the gushing waters and save people's lives. And yeah, I'm sure it's crazy for them too. It's scary for them too. But how they do that. So many times I hear this from people who I'm scared to do this, I'm scared to do that. And but if you look at all our senior dadis and dadas and how fearless they were. People may say, oh, dadas are known to be, brothers are known to be fearless, but even the dadis showed so much of fearlessness. And if they're like innumerable stories of the Yakya, where our seniors have shown incredible courage. And people have heard, I don't, secondhand information of how when there was in Punjab, there was this time when there was a lot of terrorism, that sometimes terrorists with AK-47 would enter into Baba's centers, and they would want to see what is going on. And there, Baba's children would be sitting in remembrance and totally absorbed in Baba's love. And the sisters would be totally unfazed by their presence, and then those souls would leave. And when the somebody was saying that sometimes, some of these senior dadis and dadas and people have sometimes had to sleep in shamshan ghats, in cremation grounds, when they were not given any place to live. I don't know how much of that is true, but maybe at least close to cremation grounds, or maybe, you know, I know for sure there was one dadi who, two dadis who went together at some place, and pardon me for not remembering the names of and where it all happened, but they didn't have a place to stay, so they kind of created a space for themselves between two houses, or between two small huts or houses or whatever. And there was no real door, and one would stay awake to kind of guard that space, while the other would sleep through the day, through the night. And somebody was sharing that actually there was a local wrestler who felt bad about how these sisters were staying. And so he said, I'm going to sit here outside through the night, outside the door, outside, that space. There was no real door. Maybe a cloth or something was hung, and I'll protect these sisters. So see how the universe begins to help those who help themselves, who are ready to take a bold step of courage. Yes. So yeah. If we go back to the Murli, I can read a few sentences which we can hold on to as um, for you all it will be a new day. That is, new day has started. And for those in the West who may be listening, the end of the previous day. So here Baba is saying, Babdada is that present, seeing all the children in the form of a light and might house. The mics have become powerful, but all three, light, might, and mics, have to be powerful at the same time. It's not just being a mic, but we have to become lights and mics. You find it easy to come in with sound, now create such a powerful stage that through your own mind, you become able to give all souls the light of peace, happiness, and purity. In the physical world, whatever color lamp you light, everything surrounding it appears in that same color. If you light a green lamp, everything surrounding it looks green. One stationary light can also change the atmosphere. When you use a red light for yoga, the atmosphere automatically becomes that of remembrance. Since physical lights are able to change the surroundings, can you lighthouses who have the light of happiness and purity not change the atmosphere? See what Baba is saying, since physical lights are able to change the surroundings, can you lighthouses who have the light of purity and happiness not change the atmosphere? See, it's so interesting. Some of you know it, but maybe some of you don't know. We have a retreat center in US called as Peace Village. It's a huge place. I think it is the largest retreat center in the world. Of course, apart from Madhuban, outside of Madhuban, it has, I don't know, 400 acres of land, but all of it is not used, for living. It's all forest. But when it was acquired at that time, it was actually an Italian resort. And I can't remember the name of, what was the name? Risorgio Italiano or something was the name. And at that time, just like any Italian, any resort would be, there was a bar, you know, uh, there was a swimming pool and all of those things, and how it was changed through, tireless service and tireless, yoga, a constant yoga, incessant yoga by these seniors, so that that space could become what it is now. Where Baba's room is located there. Actually, at that time, before it was acquired by Baba, it was a bar where alcohol was served. And the main hall, which is called as the Inspiration Hall, is was a big swimming pool. So see how when you go there, you can't imagine, the energy, the powerful energy that floats around in that space. And at one point, it was anything so something so tamopradhan. So our energy can change anything. We keep blaming the surroundings, the circumstances, the people around us. But if we make our energy powerful, then there's nothing that we cannot change. Okay. Shanti. I think someone wishes to speak because I see.
Om Shanti, Prabha. Om Shanti.
Yeah, speak, please.
When you spoke of this army and all, I just remember some time back, I don't know the year, if you would have heard of General Bipin Rawat. He was the only CDS. He was not just chief of the army, he was chief of the army, navy and air force. I remember even his visit to Mount Abu. And then later, when his plane, he died in a crash. I remember the kind of reminiscences which were shared in Madhuban by the seniors and all. And I used to just think the concept of the army and all, always mentioned in Baba's Murli. He often gives us the Shiv Shakti army, the Pandav army. Out of all that, I liked the word Shiv Shakti army. That's why even I shared in the chat box. Because whenever they show this final scene over there, they show all these souls dressed up in white and with Brahma Baba at the helm. He's pointing out his hand like a commander. It's such a, like he's the CDS, the defense of all the three. You spoke of army, navy. So wherever, whether it is land or whether it's an obstacle in water or whether it's an obstacle in flying, he was the spiritual commander of all the three elements. So I like that scene. And I always used to visualize, will this be my uniform at the end? Is this the military uniform, which Baba often talks of? And when you spoke, that one picture came to my mind. And I used to think, is it just a visualization or will this be the final scene when we all, because we used to conduct these rehearsals in between. We have heard of Peace March, where all the sisters used to go silently on the roads, spreading peace and all everywhere. A kind, something, a kind of feeling overcomes you. So as you were talking, I was thinking about, will there be something really like this, an army and all which Baba is speaking of? Will that final scene be there? What is it? I was just visualizing the army. I also do agree for all the qualities which you spoke of, ever ready and all that. That's some military. Once they go onto the field, they cannot take back. They cannot even look back. Total surrender. I don't know. I was just thinking about those scenes, picture at the end, which and where I was, would I be there? I liked that picture of Brahma Baba over there. I just thought I wanted to share. Shanti.
Would anyone else like to share something? Because
Yeah, Shanti, brother. Just one more. Yeah, just one thought I would like to share. So as you were saying, right, about the seva and the quality of seva that one should do, like you clearly mentioned about a person, right, can influence a team, a group. Hello, can you hear me?
yes, Ji.
Okay, yeah. So one person can influence a team or group, and similarly, one person can, inspire and also, courage and discourage. That's what I meant. So I heard one incident that happened in the Yakya history where, there was a need. It was at the time of Dadi Prakash Maniji, and at the time, one good strain had come, it seems, and full of call in that. Okay. So at the time that was call, I hope you all know it's a kind of a stone that is used to um, uh, fuel, right? It's a fuel actually. And this had come Abu Road, and there was got a call to unload that. It was a good strain, it seems, and Dadi requested all the Brahmin children to go down and then unload the goods train. And at the time, a group of people turned against Dadi's order because they said, call is not good for health, and if you do it, it's going to impact you. You may have, and you will dirt yourself and all that. So, and then realizing that we came forward and some people joined, and you all know that he kind of inspire everyone when it comes to doing service. So Dadi was the first one to go down and then take, all the weapons and then started the unloading by herself. And then by seeing that, many people joined her, and then people who were standing in the railway station there, and they all saw that, okay, Brahma Kumari's head is unloading this. See that, okay, her a great heart, so why don't we join her? And then there that Baba's help comes. When you take that courage, then Baba will make others also instrumental support. So that happened, and then all were thinking how this can be done, because many goods, the bogies are so many, and then eventually what happened, many joined. more than 100 it seems, and then they could unload it by noon. They could unload the whole call, and then when they returned uh, to Pandabavan, and then Dadi immediately called Gulzar Dadi and then said, go to Vadan and ask Baba to come down in the evening. And Dadi ordered Baba to come down, and then even Baba came down, Gulzar Dadi's body, and then spoke these lines. Baba gave Vardhan to all the supported brothers. Baba said that, those who, the children, those who helped Baba at the time of need, right? Baba is bound to support them. Baba is bound to help them back at their time of need. So those people stand, back, couldn't support. They really regretted about what they have done, because whatever comes out of these instrument souls, right? So Baba it's actually a word from Baba, actually. So, you see one person's thought influenced a group of people, and eventually who is the loser and who's the gainer. So similar thing can happen. Maya can create these sort of incidents, and we'll have to be very vigilant understanding this and taking the right action. So we'll have to think from the Yagya perspective. What Yagya need, and what kind of support needed at what time. So based on that, we'll have to act upon it. That's where we uplift our fortune. Om Shanti. Thank you.
Om Shanti. I would like to share one reflection that while in the world it is seen, it is understood that leaders are born, and but in Brahma Kumaris, in the godly knowledge, God has shown us that it's not only that Lord leaders are born, but leadership can also be nurtured. It can also be inculcated through constant following the great leaders, how they think, we can act, and be and can serve as an example. So that's, I think, I found that leadership can be created within as a sanskar in the soul through constant knowledge and its implementation in the life, practical life. Om Shanti.
If not, then no one else has anything more to add, then we can, yes, go into meditation. But my hope is that on one hand, many times we all um, do wonderful service, and we're willing to do service. We're ready for what comes, but we too many times can become very selective, very, very choosy, and sometimes even selfish when it comes to service. But service requires a lot of renunciation, a lot of sacrifice. Tyag, tapasya, seva. Baba many times says these three words in that order. So there is a lot of renunciation involved. There's a lot of tapasya involved. And only then service can become effective. So are we willing to do that, Tyag? Sometimes it may be extremely cold. Sometimes it could be extremely hot. Sometimes it could be raining hard. Sometimes it could be extremely dark. Sometimes can be too early. Sometimes it can be too late in the night. So whatever it is, whenever there is a need, am I willing to sacrifice my comforts, my needs, my desires, and be willing to give up, give up for Baba. So just hold these few thoughts, for a few minutes as we go into meditation, as we remember Baba. It takes so much of power from Baba, so much of power, so much of love from Baba, along with that power. That all of these small petty things at least can go away. Baba taught these dadis to drive. And so many times I hear, of course, after a certain age, it's definitely unreasonable to expect, but I hear so many young people, they say we can't drive, but we drive. There was one soul who said, oh, Baba's home is about 9 miles away. Then in America, we use miles rather than kilometers. I'm okay with driving up till 4-5 miles. I just drive till 4-5 miles, but 9 miles is too much. So, somewhere, if we want to achieve something, it is so important that we create some degree of fearlessness, but also some willingness to fight against the status quo, to come out of our comfort zones, to let go of petty things, petty matters. Sometimes we get upset with people. That's why we don't want to do service. And in all of these things, we end up crossing out our fortune. The Avyat Murli that you'll be listening to on Sunday, that is today for you all, we actually read it yesterday. That is today, so you'll be reading that today on Sunday. Baba talks about the lines of fortune that he sees on the forehead of each of us, and these lines are created by us through our own actions. The lines are drawn through our own sukarmas, and that the pen to draw these lines have been given as a gift by Baba to us. So are we ready to draw these lines as long as we want, or are we crossing them out? So I see so many souls, Baba says this, but yet few hours later, worldlies are over and we get about a business, and then we start crossing out our lines of fortune. So let's take as much power as we can from Baba, as much love as we can at this moment from that supreme powerhouse, that supreme ocean of love. So that all these petty things, all these desires, selfishness, and small heart sometimes that we have, that lack of generosity, all of these can be washed away. So we see ourselves as extremely disciplined on one hand, extremely ready on the other, and extremely capable. That nothing can stop us. That we become unstoppable. In physics, unstoppable is equal to momentum, actually. It's a momentum. Higher the momentum, the more unstoppable an object becomes. Momentum is mass times velocity. How is my velocity? How fast am I moving? The faster I move, the more difficult it will be for anything to stop me. And mass is our spiritual power that we are taking from Baba. So more the spiritual power that we're holding within ourselves, more will be a mass and more unstoppable will be become. See the line of fortune that you're creating with the pen that Baba has given to you as a gift is endless. Nothing can stop that line. You create. Yeah, a lot of wonderful things have been written: discipline, cleanliness, love, services as soul consciousness, embodiment of divine virtues, responsible, rohani, valuable, inward journey, careful, cheerful, and excellence. That's wonderful. Let's end here. Om Shanti. Thank you for this opportunity to be with all of you, to be in this wonderful space that you all have created. Until next time, Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Shwetangbai. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a wonderful day.